Welcome back to the Sunday School lesson.
We are so glad to be here with you today. We are going to read a story today called God's Promises to Abram. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Has anyone ever made a promise to you before?
Yes.
Okay, and did they keep that promise?
Yes.
And so how did it make you feel when they kept their promise?
Really happy.
Oh, so you knew that they were going to do what they said they were going to do, right? So God makes a promise with us. And here's what he says. He says, I, God, promise to love and care for you always. He says, you are my beloved child forever. So what do you think about that promise with God? Do you think that we have to do anything to earn God's love?
No.
Not at all. So why do you think God would promise to love and care for us for always and forever? Do you have any ideas maybe why he would want to do that? Maybe because he loves us?
Yeah.
And he cares for us, right? And so we don't have to do anything for him to keep his promise, do we?
No.
No, we can count on God to always keep his promise. So let's read our story today because this is a promise that God made to a man named Abram right here. Now this story comes from the book of Genesis. Do you remember where Genesis is in the Bible?
The beginning.
Because Genesis means the beginning. And so this comes from chapter 15 in Genesis, verses 1 through 12 and 17 through 18. So let's read and find out. Okay. God came to Abram and made a promise. Abram, you are very special to me. I will take care of you and give you lots of children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. But Abram asked God many times, are you sure? I don't have any children yet. Now look at him. How old do you think he is?
Maybe 65 years old.
But he doesn't have any children yet. But God promised him that he would have many children. Do you think he's been waiting a while?
Yeah.
I wonder. Okay. God thought Abram needed something more to help him understand. So God took Abram outside and showed him the night sky. And what did he say?
Your family will include as many people as there are stars in the sky.
Whoa, that's what God told Abram. Stars in the sky, can you imagine? That's a lot of people if you think all those stars. Abram stared up at all those stars. He couldn't begin to count all those twinkling lights. Stars and stars and stars all around him. Abram looked up at the stars and saw God at work. And Abram believed God. He believed that his promise would come true. Do you want to see what it says?
Now for another promise, said God to Abram. You will need a place for your huge family to live. I will give you this land as I promised.
Oh, so now he promised him that he would have lots of people in his family, and now he needed a place for them to live. Are you sure, God? Abram asked again. God made a covenant with Abram, a promise that Abram would become a father and a grandfather and a great-grandfather and a great-great-grandfather and a great-great-great-grandfather and on and on. And all of Abram's many, many sons, daughters, grandsons, and granddaughters would live with God in the land which Abram stood. So God made two promises to Abram. He said, you will have many, 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 many children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren and all that, right? But he said, here's another promise. You need a place for your huge family to live. And so he's promised him that he would have a special place for him to live. Now, I want to tell you something special. Are you ready? When Abram, he was married to Sarai, and when they were 100 years old, when Abram was 100 years old, that's when they finally had their children. That's when their family grew. Can you believe it? Now, did Abram have to wait just a little amount of time or a long time? A really long time. Do you think it's always easy to be so patient, though? That's a really long time to be patient. Sometimes it's hard for us just to even wait till dinner to be patient, isn't it?
Yes.
But Abram had to wait until he was 100 years old for God's promises to become true. That's a long time to be patient, isn't it? Phew. So this story reminds us that God always, always, always keeps his promises. Always, no matter what. Now, it may take a little while. It may take 100 years. It may take a really long time. But we can remember that God will always keep his promises. So I want you to think, when we talk about God, there's a memory verse, and it says, "Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield. Your reward shall be very great." What do you think that means, that he could be his shield?
Like protector?
He protects him, and he always makes sure that he gives those promises to make sure he has what he needs. So I thought, well, let's make a craft, but let's read this verse again. It's from Genesis 15:1. You ready? Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield. Your reward shall be very great. That's a really big verse for us to remember, right? So how about today we make a shield so we can remember that God was Abram's shield. Do you think he's our shield too?
Yes.
Does he protect us and make promises to us?
Yes.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and make a shield. What materials will we need to make that shield?
Some paper,
And what else?
a marker.
Oh, good. And any color markers, right? Okay, that's perfect. So what should we draw on our paper?
A shield.
A shield. Let's show a shield. Ooh, it could be a big shield. It could be a little shield. That looks almost like a police badge, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it would work like a shield, right? Now, what could we write on here? Could we say something like God keeps his promises?
Yes.
Oh, let's write that on there. God always keeps his promises. Here we have other markers too if you want that. Now, because when we think about this, we think God made those promises to Abram and he kept them. Now, it may have taken a little while, but he always keeps his promises. And remember, we said in the beginning that God promises to love and care for us always, no matter what. He says, "You are my beloved child forever." There's nothing we can do for him to change that. Now let's see what you wrote. Can you tell us?
God always keeps his promises.
Wow. Now what do you think we could draw in there? We could draw a picture of Abram with all of that. What is it that God showed him to remind him to say, this is as many people in your family?
Stars.
Oh, let's draw a couple stars on there. Maybe we could do that. Put some stars on there to remind us about Abram. Maybe if we have any special promises, maybe hearts or something like that, right? That can remind us that God always loves and cares for us. Now we can decorate our shield however we want, right? But this shield will remind us that God, he said, "I am your shield. Your reward shall be very great." So he protects us and he loves us all the time, no matter what. So let's see your special shield and what it looks like. Oh, let's see. You have a couple extra decorations on there. Let's check it out. You put lots of stars on there. And why do you like the stars on there?
Because that's how many family members he had.
Oh, that's right. As many stars in the sky. Well, let's remember as we go from this week, we remember that who always keeps his promises?
God.
God always keeps his promises, and he always vows to love us and care for us no matter what.
Yes.
So we hope that you remember that this week. Hopefully you can make a shield and show people in your home and that you care about how you know God will always care and love for you. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Good morning, friends. I'm Miss Laura.
And I'm Alice Lee.
Alice Lee and I are going to teach you today to sing a song called Jesus Loves Me. You might already know it, but please sing along with us. I'm going to sing a line, and then Alice will sing after me, and then at the end we'll all sing together. So let's sing. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Jesus loves me, this I know.
Jesus loves me, this I know.
For the Bible tells me so.
For the Bible tells me so.
Little ones to him belong.
Little ones to him belong.
They are weak, but he is strong.
They are weak, but he is strong.
Yes, Jesus loves me.
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 The Bible tells me so.
The Bible tells me so.
That was great. Let's all sing it all together, the whole song. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do it. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to him belong. Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. The Bible tells me so. That was great. Was that fun?
Yeah.
Awesome. Great job, friends. We'll see you next week, okay? Bye.